gosh, I have to tell you about this miracle. We have a man who came from Canada, drove 6 hours, spent 2 hours one day, stayed in a hotel, came back 2 hours the next day, 4 hours. Paralyzed from the waist down, 36 years he was in a wheelchair. He called me last Wednesday. He wants to come again. He lives on an Indian reservation, so he wants to open up a center on the Indian reservation, which is fabulous. But anyway, he called me and he said, for the first time in 36 years, for days after he left our center, he had pain in his body, which at first I thought was sad. But like, wait a minute, why did you have pain? He couldn't feel anything in his body and he was feeling pain. And a friend of his went to a psychic unbeknownst to this man, and the woman, unbeknownst that he came to my center, she said to his friend, your friend's nerves are regenerating. I mean, this man was in a wheelchair for 36 years. He spent 4 hours and he has a beautiful, beautiful soul. So couldn't happen to a better person. And I want that. I'm going to see that man. I mean, I can't say this, I can't promise this, but I'm going to see that man walking.
Well,
If I have any...
Okay, folks, we got Marie Scudari, okay, and she happens to be the owner of a new center, a healing center in New Jersey. Where is your center located?
It's
Marie?
in Hillsborough, New Jersey.
Hillsborough, okay, that's like Central Jersey, if I'm not mistaken?
It is Central Jersey.
Okay, because I lived in Saddlebrook for many, many years.
I was born there.
Perfect. So I always say, folks, you want to get to your XRP and your digital assets and your ZIMs and your dinars, but you want to be there healthy. What good is it to get to an abundance of wealth and you're sick? It doesn't serve any justice. Before we go any further, please, folks, hit the pause button, go to Rumble, join our channel. It's growing in leaps and bounds. We're headed for 15,000 subscribers there. It's growing fast. QFS1776.com is the holy grail of what's to come. We're burning down the old system. We're never going to go back. There's nothing to go back to. It's going to be burnt down to the ground. If you need gold and silver, we got a 33-year-old company. The cheapest prices out there. They'll deliver the gold and the silver, Canada and the United States. I mean, this company has an impeccable reputation. Telegram right down below. If you want to learn about the quantum financial system, you join our Telegram group and our Patriots. We got 30,000 people in there that will take you by the hand and walk you through the process. Okay. Marie, welcome to the show. You're in Hillsborough, New Jersey. What in the world possessed you to just one day wake up and say, I'm going to open up a healing center?
That's the truth. Possessed me. So I watched Jason Shurka's video with Dr. Sandra Rose Michael. If anybody wants to watch it, I highly, highly, highly recommend it. I tell everybody to watch it. Just type in the search engine in YouTube, Jason Shurka, Revolution of Healing. And that was the perfect title, Revolution of Healing, because that's what's going on right now. So I watched his video. I was actually sitting in a waiting room watching his video, and I think before it was even finished, I emailed him and said, I want in on this. Basically, I'm thinking about opening up a center, and how do we proceed? The man got back to me within like 5 to 6 minutes. He emailed me and then he called me. So I'm still sitting in the waiting room and he called me. And so we made it happen. If you watch that video, you will learn Dr. Sandra Rose Michael is the woman who created this technology. It is scalar wave technology. I'm not saying she created scalar wave technology, but she created the technology that is generating this scalar wave energy. That video will tell you a lot of the scientifics of it. I'm a layperson talking to you about it. But when I watched the video, Jason said, we need to get this out to the world. Jason, need to be a part of getting this out to the world. We need this in every country in the world. And at that time, I think there may have been, that was May 27th, I think there may have been, if at all, if even that many, 5 centers open in the United States. Within 2 months, there was like 40 centers that were either opened or opening soon. And I was one of those. And we only opened August 19th. Basically, at this point, I believe, don't quote me, there's probably upwards of 70, 80 centers that are either opened or opening, maybe more, and also in other countries. And to prove that Jason Shurka is the guy he says he is, if you open up a center and you'd like to advertise through his Unified Healing website, he takes every cent we pay in advertising and he donates that to third world countries. Right now, they bought a system, 24-unit system, for India. It's donated to an ashram in India and everybody can go free. So this, you don't do something like this unless God is telling you to do this. So when I watched the video, my heart, my spirit said, you have to do this. Now I was retired. I was retired only 1 year. I owned a counseling center before I retired. I couldn't wait to retire. It was very stressful running that business. It was a fairly decent sized counseling center. So I had a lot of employees and it was just little old me. And I was burnt out. You know, it was almost 32 years of running the business. I never wanted to come out of retirement. I was only retired like a year and nothing was going to get me out of retirement except this. So I felt led by God. Everything just fell in place. He gave me the employees, he gave me the space I was supposed to rent, the technology, I got it within a few months. Everything, when I tell you everything fell into place, that's how I knew that I really was following God's lead. Now about the technology. The way I explain it from my little research is that this is 5th dimensional energy. So the technology, 24 units according to the doctor who created it, is the most ideal. Somehow that generates the most energy as opposed to like 12 units or 18 units. 24 is like the magic number. It's basically on monitors and they communicate with each other and they harness this 5th dimensional energy. Now we are in 3rd dimensional. 5th dimensional is a higher spiritual energy. 8th dimensional is a higher spiritual energy. Right now the best we have is 5th dimensional. I'll take it. So it creates this 5th dimensional scalar wave energy in the room, and as many people as your room can fit, mine can fit 20, 25 people, possibly a little more, can go in there and all get healing at a time. Dr. Michael said, she's in her video with her interview with Jason, she said, God, she prayed, God, how can I help heal the world if I could only heal one person at a time? Because she was supposedly a world-renowned healer. And this is where this technology came from. So between her scientific background and her prayer, she came up with this technology. But it only just came out. She thinks she came out with it in 1983 or 1993. It was only like sold to households. It wasn't time for it to get out to the world. But the light system, if you're familiar with Jason Shurka and the disclosure videos, the light system went to Jason and went to Dr. Michaels and said, it's time to get this out to the world. Now, I'm going to go with the light system. I'm going to go with the spiritual people behind the scenes, spiritual beings behind the scenes, if you will, and listen to their advice. I'm much more about that than regular medicine. We know our drugs are filled with crap. I don't know how much I can say on here, but we know that our medicine is really not help. It's not made up to heal. This system is created for your body to heal, not to drug it, not to cover up symptoms, but to actually heal it. What happens is when you're in the room, this energy communicates with the energy that you are, because all we are is energy, right? We have bodies, but we're made up of nothing but energy. The 5th dimensional energy communicates with the cells of our bodies. It provides the cells of our bodies the tools, the energy, the higher spiritual energy that we need for our innate spiritual bodies to heal themselves. And so that's the simple explanation of it. We've been open a month. I'll tell you, I'm working again, but I'm happy to be a part of this. But when somebody walks in and I hear the miracle, or I witness the miracle, I know even more why I decided to do this. I'll share a little bit about share some of our healings, our testimonies. Again, I want to emphasize that it's not the technology that is healing the body. It's the body healing the body with the use of this energy.
100%.
Okay. So we have a woman who's been coming in for 3 hours, 3 times a week. She comes in for 3 hours. After the first week, she has Lou Gehrig's disease. So she could only look down. She had no muscle. She had no ability to, no strength, no muscle in her neck and her head. So she couldn't lift her head. She can't speak. After 9 hours, she came in. She was in tremendous pain. She was having constant spasms and pain in her neck and her shoulders and her head. And she said they diminished so significantly after those 9 hours, and the pain diminished significantly. She kept coming. I believe it was 2 weeks, 3 hours a day, 3 days a week. Might have been 3, but I'm pretty sure it was only 2 weeks. She walked in with her head up. She walked in on her own with her head up. And all my staff, and our jaws just dropped. I started crying. Like, this is why I came out of retirement. I don't need the money. I didn't open up the business to make money. I opened up the business to help heal the world. So that's one of our amazing testimonies. We have a man with cancer that's been coming. He came 5 days the week before last, 5 days, 2 hours a day. He was very weak. You could see it. You could see it in his body. He was very down. He was depressed. This is really good for depression and anxiety as well. And they removed one of his kidneys, and they want to remove the other kidney. And I said to his children who brought him in, please, just let him try this. He was here on vacation visiting his children. I said, get him to stay another month. And he came, and he stayed another month. So he's done 2 solid weeks. When he came in last Tuesday, I believe, so he had done like maybe 5 or 6 days at 2-hour intervals. His back pain was gone. He looked like a completely different person. The children, and he said, so much stronger constitution. His mood was better. His body was up tall. I mean, again, it was another one of those miracles that, brought tears to my eyes. We just keep hearing story after story after story. I would say almost everybody, I won't say everybody, because it depends on what we're willing to receive and where we are at. Are we ready? How much healing are we ready to receive emotionally, spiritually? But I will say that almost everybody leaves there feeling calm, peaceful. Their mood is better for days. Their energy level is better for days. I had a lot of fatigue. I don't even know what it is anymore. I could go days and days on 5 hours a night sleep. My mother has 12 units in her bedroom, and my mother's 93 years old. When we visited another center, and I was driving her home, she said, Marie, I just really hope that this will help me, because she said, I have to push myself to do everything. And I'll tell you, she meant it. Like, she was very, very, very weary. 2 nights in the system, I called my mom, Mom, how are you doing? She hasn't not had to push. Now she's got it about 2 months. She's not had to push once. Her asthma has improved. She can walk further. She can walk faster. Her energy levels is improved. She feels strong. She looks strong. She sounds strong every time I talk to her. 93 years old. So everybody is leaving with, I'll say almost everybody is leaving with extra energy, greater peace of mind, overall stronger constitution, I would say.
Sure, sure.
So those are just a few of the testimonies. I mean, there's more, but you get the point.
Oh,
This is
absolutely.
not, your mother's aspirin. This is,
Yeah.
this is the real deal.
Well, I'm a firm believer, and this is the reason why we all need to get around Jason Shirka. I mean, this guy's a godsend. I mean, listen, Unified TV right down below, guys, get a subscription, support what's right. If you support what's wrong, and then you wake up in the morning and the monster is still there, it's your fault. We got to stop feeding the monster. We got to start taking our money and redirecting it to what's right. And Unified TV is right. You get a subscription, and if you are a filmmaker and you got a story to tell that is positive, this is the greatest place. You get in touch with Jason Shirka. If you don't know how to get in touch with him, you get in touch with me. I'll make sure that Jason Shirka will get to you. Okay? Get yourself a subscription and do it today. We got to get behind what's right. You agree with that?
Absolutely.
All right. So the reason why I think this is better than medical beds, even though this does not grow limbs and this is not a medical device of any sort. The device itself doesn't do anything. And I will add a few more things. I've been learning about this, people that own centers, etc. From what I understand, the body will prioritize. Like, for example, if you have multiple things wrong with you, the body will basically become its own doctor and say, okay, the number one priority is, for example, epilepsy. The second priority is vertigo. The third priority is something else. And it will go right down the list and will cure. The body will cure one thing at a time. Again, it's the body that cures the body. The atmosphere that it provides, which is a fifth dimensional atmosphere, like you say, scalar wave, allows the cells to say, aha, all of a sudden the cells are awake and they know exactly what their role is, and they start to produce other healthy cells. And when that starts to multiply, and then it starts to produce what? Healthy stem cells. And the stem cells start to go and prioritize which parts of the body they need to go first, second, third, fourth. Folks, this is unbelievable. Okay. There are too many testimonials to sweep them away and say it doesn't exist. It does exist. It's here. It's here now. Okay. And the beautiful thing is, I asked a very important question to Dr. Sandra Michael Rose. Is I said, listen, what happens if there's like 100 people in the room? Are they stealing my energy and I'm getting less of an effect? She said, no. She said the opposite is actually correct. She said it actually multiplies the energy by a factor of at least 2 or 3, maybe even 4. So if there's more people in the room and you're in a crowded room, you better be applauding, because you're getting more of a benefit by having a bigger crowd in the room. Does that make sense? You heard that, right?
I didn't hear it said like that. I believe, so before I did this, I was a psychotherapist by profession. And when I first started out in the profession, I did group therapy. And group therapy, I felt, was in some ways more healing than individual. I think it was important to do both, because there's a group of people with the same intention. And if you go by the Bible, I don't necessarily go by the Bible, but there are things in the Bible that I definitely subscribe to. And where 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, so we're all there. And my intention is to bring about healing. And so in my mind, the more people that are in that room, the more we all have, the more people are having an intention for healing and love and peace. Now, with that, we're open 6 days a week. Those 6 days, at least those 6 days, every morning I get up, I turn on my lamp, and while I'm still sitting in bed, I do my Saint Germain prayers. I send love and light, the love and light of God, to the healing center, because for me, I don't want this just to be about physical healing, and I want this to be amplified because the love and light of God is in there, which, by the way, the name of my business is Boundless Love and Light Healing, and that name I got from Spirit. So And then I also go on and pray decrees, what we call decrees. Saint Germain is not like Catholic necessarily. That's not what this comes from. You know, this is Jesus. This is the ascended masters. This is Saint Germain. This is the angels, and so I'm calling them in to help bring about more healing. So to answer your question, I see it as because it's a healing center. Like I have units in my house. I have 16 units in my bedroom, 24 in the business, 16 in my bedroom. I feel more in the waiting room of my business, of the center, the healing center, than I do in my own bedroom. And I'm not even in the large room with the technology. I'm behind closed doors in the office slash waiting room. And I feel more in that room. And I believe because it's the intention and the love and the light of all those people to come in and heal. That makes sense.
Yeah, well, I understand the technology travels approximately 2.5 miles, which is amazing. So, which means she can have a center and you might be getting some healing done because your atmosphere is all of a sudden changed because she's providing the atmosphere. Okay, so we want these things because see, if we change the frequency of the earth and we
Oh my
people's
goodness.
brain patterns, we
Amen.
change how earth operates.
That's a fabulous point. That's a
Okay.
fabulous point. And that's probably why Jason is like, we have to get this. In my mind, I was thinking, okay, well, we have to get this in every state and as many in every state in every country as possible to help heal the world. But you just brought up a fabulous point. That energy, the more centers are open, the more we're healing people outside of the center as well. It's not the same degree, like, the further out you go, the little bit less you're getting.
Right.
But nonetheless, we're changing the vibration of the earth.
Totally, totally. And I'll tell you one little cute story that doctor told me on her interview when I did the interview with her, which I had a blast talking with her. As a matter of fact, I can't wait for her to come back and do part two. I think she needs to. She told me a very cute story of a car wash of a guy who was scheduled to get knee surgery. And he bought the machines for his car wash because when they put on the wax onto the car and they take it off, it was 80% less energy to take the wax off. You know, it could be very, very intensive to take the wax off, but this is weird. Okay. So the guy, he's got a thing of water, a cooler. The water is being charged. So he's drinking the charged water. Plus,
Right.
he's marinating in this technology 12
Right.
hours a day washing cars. He's using a lot less energy because for some weird reason, okay, it takes 80% less energy to take the wax on, wax off. Okay. And all of a sudden, he calls his doctor, which he's scheduled for knee surgery, and he says, I have to cancel the surgery. I'm feeling better. And he proceeded to tell him about
Right.
technology.
Right.
He is now squatting 400 pounds. I
Wow.
didn't stutter when I said that. I didn't say pounds. He's squatting 400
Well, that's amazing.
pounds.
That's good to know because we do have people coming and asking about will it help bone on bone? Because how many of us have problems with the knees? Oh my goodness, I was going to say something. That's amazing. That's amazing. I forgot what I was going to say.
But
Oh, I know what I want to say.
yeah,
I want if people that are listening to your video of this podcast right now, if they know somebody who has cancer, they know somebody who have ALS, my heart, like I want every cancer patient and every ALS patient in the world in one of these centers. I don't care what center they go to. I just want to please, if you know anybody who has cancer of any kind, I mean, we're seeing miracles. We have 2 cancer patients right now. We're only open a month. We have 2 ALS patients. I want my center filled with people who need healing the most. And that sounds terrible. I want everybody to get healing, but my heart is just going out to people with cancer because I know what they must be going through. I don't know what they're going through. But I know they've been put through the mill with our medical establishment, and I know that 90% of the time it doesn't help. I know that right on the chemotherapy bottle it says cancer, caution, this could cause cancer. Um, so if people like know an oncologist, please, like have them watch Dr. Michael's, that interview with Jason Shirk and Dr. Michael. And if you know anybody, just please tell them, I really believe with all my heart, this is going to create miracles. I've known people with ALS. I do another spiritual healing technique called Seime, which is basically using the spirit of God in us to tap into the spirit of God in the other person, and then the energy.
Manifest.
It's also vital life energy. And then that energy knows how to heal the body. It's a similar, not nearly as powerful as the EE system. We worked on people with ALS and we helped their suffering, but we couldn't cure them.
Not come close.
No, and this woman, after like 2 weeks, I believe, of 3 hours, 3 days a week, came in with her head up high. That was astounding to us.
What you need to do, Marie, is I want you to do me a favor. I want you to start doing 1 minute, 2 minute videos with all of the people that are coming in. And because the next time you and I are going to have a podcast like this, I want to splice those videos in. This way, it's not just words. We have the physical, tangible proof, irrefutable evidence that nobody can argue with. Here it is. It's in your face. And let's get the show started. Now, if you're in New Jersey or you are in Pennsylvania or you're in Connecticut, okay, go drive to her place and tell everybody about it. Because right now, we're trying to change the world, but you guys are the digital soldiers. Without you guys, nothing happens. You guys got to flap your jaws, pick up the phone, call, hey, you got to watch this interview and spread it out there like chicken pox.
We're going to change the world. If everybody, like we made up cards, and on the cards, there's the QR code for that first video. And then there's a video with me and Jason as well on there. But that first video, if people can share that first video with people they know and they can just pass it on. And we have people, oh my gosh, I have to tell you about this miracle. We have a man who came from Canada, drove 6 hours, spent 2 hours one day, stayed in a hotel, came back 2 hours the next day, 4 hours. Paralyzed from the waist down, 36 years he was in a wheelchair. He called me last Wednesday. He wants to come again. He lives on an Indian reservation. So he wants to open up a center on the Indian reservation, which is fabulous. But anyway, he called me and he said, for the first time in 36 years, for days after he left our center, he had pain in his body, which at first I thought was sad. But like, wait a minute, why did you have pain? He couldn't feel anything in his body and he was feeling pain. And a friend of his went to a psychic unbeknownst to this man, and the woman, unbeknownst that he came to my center, she said to his friend, your friend's nerves are regenerating. I mean, this man was in a wheelchair for 36 years. He spent 4 hours and he has a beautiful, beautiful soul. So couldn't happen to a better person. And I want that. I'm going to see that man. I mean, I can't say this. I can't promise this, but I'm going to see that man walking. If I have anything to do with it, I'm going to see that man walking.
My good friend now, Maria Schiavelli, over in Utah, who opened up a center 3 weeks ago. I said, when did you open? She says, today's my first day, and I'm interviewing her. So what happened was that, we start talking and we get the video out there. She said, she's called me. We are like in touch like every day, 2-3 times a day, every day. I love Maria. She said, my business has doubled every week since we did the interview. So what we did is we said, hey, this lady's in Lehigh, Utah. Anybody who listens to this message that knows somebody in Lehigh, Utah, or surrounding towns or counties, send them to her. And that's exactly what happened. And now she's starting to crank. She's got a small place like yourself. She's probably going to be maxed out at about 32 seats. But here's what I think. And you can either agree or disagree. And you're allowed to disagree with me, by the way, Marie. I think this business down the road, and I've had this conversation at least for a little bit with Jason Shirka, I see these becoming sort of like movie theaters with unified TV playing in front of you on an 80 TV. And the chairs are 10 inches away from each other because you guys understand the more bodies, because the body's made up of what? Water, 70% water. The water conducts what? Energy. the energy what? Amplifies. If it amplifies and it goes 3x, that means you're getting you're getting 3 times the amount of benefit for the same $50 per hour or the same $60 per hour. This is a no-brainer. Okay. So now we're feeding you positive stuff, not Netflix,
Right.
not social engineering you. And we're going to show you how we're going to make the world better, because we're going to have a new generation of filmmakers coming in.
That's great.
We're going to paint a picture of what will be. That's powerful.
Yeah.
Can you see that?
I can see that. I can see it getting bigger.
Yeah.
I can definitely see it getting bigger. I mean, I know. I mean, the reason why I wanted 20, a minimum of like 20, 25 chairs is because I want to reach as many people as I can. And, now I'm thinking, oh goodness, I only have room for like 25, maybe 30 people, like,
Pack them in.
but that's okay, because you know what? If God leads me to open up a bigger place, then I'll just move to a bigger place.
Absolutely.
But for now, we can help 30 people every hour.
We're here to help all you center owners, anybody who's new, who wants to come on my podcast. We're here to help change the world. I believe in this technology. I know what it is. I've been studying it for a long time. I'm not new at this. I've been at this for 31 years. I'm one of those conspiracy guys, but my conspiracy theories are starting to turn out more like conspiracy facts. Okay. And there would be no reason to get rid of Mr. Rife and his Rife machine and put him in jail if it didn't work. You feeling me?
Yep, absolutely.
Right? This is, I mean, we are literally at the point where we are about to turn the corner and change everything.
I'm waiting. Yeah. And we're not getting it cranking for me. We're getting it cranking so we can help heal the world. That's very important.
People say, oh, you guys trying to make a profit for healing people? The medical industry has been trying to what? I won't even say the word that starts with a K and ends with a G. Okay. And they're okay to make money. And we're trying to, and we're not allowed to make a little bit of a profit. Give me a break.
And our prices are reasonable. Our prices are very reasonable.
Very reasonable.
Well, if you buy packages, it goes below $60 an hour.
Do you have?
Goes down to $45 an hour, which,
Yeah. Do you have?
And if people, and I'm going to be honest with you, if somebody really can't afford it, I don't care. I'm not going to turn a cancer patient away. You know what I mean? I'm not going to turn a patient away. This is not about the money for me.
No.
This is about helping you. And yes, I want a successful business, because that's just, that's your ego. You want a successful business. But the real reason is to get this to people who need it. The other thing we're doing is we just started talking about like maybe a couple, like opening earlier on a Saturday to let children come in, and just children.
Right.
From like maybe 8 to 10 on a Saturday, or maybe like the day after Thanksgiving, 4 hours for children to come in.
Or autistic kids, I
want the autistic children there too.
This is having a tremendous positive effect on autistic kids.
Have you heard that? Because we do have a few autistic children that have already slept over, but I haven't spoken to them yet. So
okay.
Have you heard that it's really helping? Do you have testimonies for that?
Yes, absolutely. Marie, thank you for coming. We're going to hit the pause button. I'm going to hold you over. Guys, if you listen this far, we depend on you. Get this out far and wide, please. And we'll see you on the next one. This will not be the last time you see Marie Scuderi. I promise. Thank you so much.
Thank you.